Please remain standing, and gentlemen, remove your caps. As a selection from our chorus and choraleer, seniors perform our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, to kick us off, we're going to, at this time, our National Honor Society graduate and class president, Bobby Hogg, will give an address to his classmates. Everyone can be seated, yes.
Members of the board, faculty and staff, family and friends, and graduates of 2020. As you all probably know, I love wrestling. Starting out at 8 years old, I now live, breathe, and eat the sport. I practice moves over 1,000 times each and wrestled hundreds of matches, all for the love of the sport. I wanted to be great, and with each year passing, I was improving. In sophomore year, I made it to sectionals. I was the first seed, expected to win and go to states. I was in the semifinals, down 4-1. In the last 10 seconds, I hit a nasty headlock, ending the match 5-4 me. But the ref didn't keep it that way. He said I didn't take him down, and so my goal of going to states that year was over. Then the next year came along. However, this time at sectionals, I was the 4th seed, but that didn't matter. I made it to the semifinals again, but this time I was against the 1st seed. I was in the lead the whole match, with the finals just in sight until the last 5 seconds. I slipped up and again lost my shot at states. 2 years in a row, I lost in the literal last few seconds of the match. My goal of going to states being crushed. That hurts. I began to question myself if I was good enough. I contemplated quitting and walking away from the sport for good. I barely touched a mat in the off season. I never thought about it or talked about it. I wanted nothing to do with it. But in the back of my head, I knew I couldn't give up. I still had a year to go, and I was going to finish it out. And that I did. I finally won sectionals and competed at states, making a run to the finals. There, I would wrestle my last high school match. And it did not start out how I wanted it to. Within the first 30 seconds, I was on my back, about to get pinned. I remember the fear, waiting for that whistle and the ref slap of the mat, wondering if after all I'd gone through, Was this it? Was I gonna end my high school wrestling career with my greatest loss? Back in September, this year looked completely different, right? We were top of the school. This was our year. Homecoming, check. Spirit Week, check. Football, golf, soccer, volleyball, indoor track, basketball, wrestling. We check them all. I'd say that the year was going pretty well. And I should not have said that, because then disaster hit. We were sent home back in March, not knowing that we wouldn't be returning for the rest of the year. What was supposed to be our year greatly changed. As if senioritis wasn't enough, now we had to get ourselves up out of bed and go to a class we could easily say, to, and go back to sleep. We could have ignored all the work, the videos, the projects, the papers. We could have let this virus beat us. But we didn't. We didn't give up. We went to class. We pushed through. It wasn't anything pretty, and it surely wasn't fun. But we did it. And now look at us. Now we get to have the most important day of our senior year. We get to be with our friends and our families in person, not behind a screen. We fought, and we were rewarded. So why tell you my wrestling story, and why recap what you all had just gone through? Because there's a common denominator in it all. I faced doubts and struggles after failing to reach my goal. But I fought back, and I got off my back. In that last match at States, I accepted being taken down. I accepted being pinned. But I didn't let that hold me down. I fought to get up, and I wrestled as hard as I could for the rest of the match, and I won 11-8. We all faced a virus that literally flipped our year upside down. But we didn't ignore or deny the obstacles that came our way. Instead, together, we faced those challenges, and we didn't turn back. We fought adversity with perseverance, and we won. That, Tamarac, is something to be proud of. And that makes us all champions today. Congratulations to all of you. I couldn't have asked for a better class to be a part of. Thank you.
This is procedure. If my wife could see me doing this now. Cleaning, that is. So next, we will have... That was a good speech, Bobby.
Thank you.
We'll now hear a recording of the class song Landslide, previously recorded by the chorus and choraleers at this time.
I
thank Corliers, and I want to thank Mrs. Ann Kulikowski and Mrs. Christina Kuntz, our directors, who for the last 4 months have been directing online, which has been amazing. At this time, National Honor Society graduate and class treasurer Michael Jakes will give an address to his class. Come on up, Mike.
Good morning, members of the board, faculty and staff, family, friends, and the class of 2020. I would like to thank my classmates for giving me the opportunity to speak here today. Even though this year did not go how we expected it to, we are finally together again to celebrate our graduation. Throughout our years at Tamarac, we have matured, learned a lot, and made many friends. I hope we can keep these things with us for the rest of our lives. But not everything about our lives has been perfect. Over the past several years, we have had to face challenging situations. I remember how nervous I was on the first day of high school. I had no idea what to expect, and I was scared that our classes would be really hard. I remember playing in my first varsity baseball game and standing at second base terrified of making a mistake and losing my spot on the team. I even remember things like being stressed out the night before a big presentation for honors in 9th grade. Even though I was prepared for the presentation, I had a hard time sleeping because I didn't want to mess up. These situations may have been stressful at the time, but now they seem small compared to our current situation. For the past few months, our lives have all been affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. Back in March, many of us believed that school would be closed for a couple of weeks and we would be right back in class. I remember our last day together on March 16th, sitting in Miss Papa's room during 9th period and wondering when I would be able to see everybody again if the closure was extended. I never expected it to last until the end of the school year. At first, I was sad and confused about how we would finish out the year, but I decided to not let these feelings get the best of me and made an effort to use the closure as a time to grow. This pandemic has changed the way that everyone lives their lives. We, as students, converted to distance learning. Our teachers had to reimagine the way they taught their classes. Our parents and families had to rethink the way they lived their lives. It seemed like our whole world changed in an instant. I know we all struggled to adjust to distance learning, but I was determined to make the best of it. I looked forward to meeting with my physics class 3 days per week because it was one of the only times I could see my friends, and I was always excited to hear the stories Mr. Welpley would tell us. However, even though I enjoyed those meetings and did my best to succeed in the class, it could never compare to being in a classroom together. In order to deal with the struggles of distance learning, our physics class set up Zoom meetings with each other outside of class. During these meetings, we would help each other learn the material and work together on assignments. Meeting outside of class really helped me to succeed during the pandemic, and I'm sure that it helped my classmates too. Our class came together to overcome the problems related to the pandemic and distance learning. It allowed us to help each other in order to thrive in the class. Because we worked together, we were able to learn, grow, and succeed during the shutdown. In addition to helping us academically, these meetings allowed us to socialize with each other during a time that we were all stuck in our homes. We were able to succeed because we faced those challenges together. This helped me realize that the obstacles we face in our lives don't have to be faced alone. If we work together and help each other, the problems are much easier to overcome. We have finished this chapter of our lives, and it's time for us to go our separate ways. Whether we're going to college, into the workforce, or entering the military, there is no doubt that there will be challenges ahead of us. Just remember that these challenges don't define us. It's how we handle them that does. I would like to thank all of the people who have supported us over the years. Thank you to our coaches, teachers, parents, family, and friends. All of you have played a part in helping us become the people we are today. To the class of 2020, I hope we can find the time today to thank those who have supported us throughout the years. I know we are all very excited to take the next step in our lives, but I hope we will always remember our time spent here at Tamarac. We will face many new challenges in the future, but remember that we don't have to face them alone. If we work with others and learn from these challenges, we can overcome them. Good luck in the future, and never give up. Thank you.
Michael, great job. Now at this time, it's my pleasure to introduce our National Honor Society graduate and representative of the class of 2020, Gabriela Cellucci, who will give an address to her classmates. All cleaned, ready to go.
Good morning. I would like to take a moment to say thank you to the members of the board, faculty and staff, family and friends, and my fellow classmates. I am honored to have been chosen by my peers to deliver this commencement speech today. When I look out at my fellow classmates, I am overwhelmed with fond memories from not only high school, but elementary and middle school. For most of us, we've been lucky enough to have been classmates and friends since kindergarten. One advantage of coming from such a small school community like Tamarac is that we are more like a family. Before I go any further, I would like to pay respect to a member of that family, our fellow classmate, Emily Hayden, who tragically passed away this year. To her family and friends joining us today, I respectfully acknowledge her amazing gift for the love of music that she shared with all of us. Although I wasn't personally close with Emily, the few moments that I was around her, I knew her to be kind, helpful, and incredibly gifted. Please join me now in taking a moment of silence for Emily and for her family and friends who sit amongst us today. As a family, we have been through a lot. We have had our shares of ups and downs, struggles and triumphs, but we have always gotten through by supporting one another. We have formed deep connections with not only each other, but with faculty and staff, which has improved our lives for the better. They and everyone around us have taught us, as Spencer M. Kimball said, to use things, not people, love people, not things. What I've learned about the class of 2020 is that when we are faced with adversity, we persevere. We were born during the effects of 9/11, entered middle school during the height of school shootings, and now we are graduating during a global pandemic. Through all these challenges, we sit here today, more resilient. Paulo Coelho once said, "An arrow can only be shot by pulling it backward." When life is dragging you back with difficulties, it means it's going to launch you into something great, so just focus and keep aiming. With that said, I have no doubt that my fellow graduates will go on to do incredible things. As nurses and healthcare workers, Grace Coonan, Haley Duncan, Kendra Freer, and Jessica Ortiz will hold the hands of the sick and dying. As teachers and educators, Juliana DiCarlo, Maggie Kelly, and Kevin Pangburn will instill a love of learning. As researchers and scientists, Carrie Ann Bugby, Jacob Danaher, RJ Doyle, Haley Duncan, and Madison Wright will improve the quality of life on Earth through science. As computer science majors like Miles Edney, Lindsay Elwell, and Matthew Palladino will further our computer technology. As designers, artists, and filmmakers, Vance Gardner, Michelle Hutter, and Will Johnson will enhance the media through art and design. As business majors, Shay Butler, Thomas Dandro, Drew Flannery, Kylie Mason, Nate Krill, and Zach Krill will improve the business and marketing world. As criminal justice and forensic majors, Lexi Bruno, Lauren Hunt, Alexis DeZembo, and Marissa Roberts will bring answers and order to our world. As social work majors, Marilyn Morell and Grace Palmer will improve the lives of many through psychology and other humanitarian services. As automotive workers and engineers, Mackenzie Campbell and Jack Mays will innovate and maintain the automotive and mechanical industries. Holly Rice and Nicola Taligi are entering the noble profession of medicine. Students like Matthew Burton, Jacob Fontaine, Larry Mackey, Clifton O'Donnell, and Ryan Rosenberg will take up essential jobs, like electrical work or welding. Emily Ryswick will keep an eye on our skies through astronomy. Gabriella Fisher will care for animals through veterinarian studies. Spencer Yetto will certainly be successful in the field of communication. Claire Safford will use her great vocabulary to excel in journalism. And last but certainly not least, to Tyler Kaczynski and anyone else who has chosen or will choose to serve our great country by joining the military, we say thank you. To my fellow classmates that I've listed above and those who I haven't directly named, we should always remember 3 rules that Nora Roberts said to know in life. 1, if you do not go after what you want, you will never have it. 2, if you do not ask, the answer will always be no. 3, if you do not step forward, you will always be in the same place. As you can tell by the multitude of careers our Tamarac grads are going into, it is easy to see how diverse and well-rounded our class truly is. Our class is by no means a part of that typical high school cliche. Our groups are intertwined and multidimensional. For example, we have D1 athletes who enjoy music like Tristan Nemjo, or state champion wrestlers who are amazing artists like Bobby Treshock, or incredible dancers who play instruments like Gianna Goldie, or singers who also play sports like Maren Mulligan, or a head cheerleader who is also an amazing artist like Sage Perkins. Or how about Michael Jakes, who's just good at everything. To the rest of our fellow classmates, those of you who are undecided, entering the workforce, or taking time off to travel and see the world, be passionate about your pursuit of happiness. Robert Frost once wrote, 2 roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. May you always have the courage to take the road less traveled. I would like to take a moment to thank all the parents that are here with us today. They were the ones who packed us school lunches, drove us to all of our after-school activities, and most importantly, supported us. I think that I can speak for the entire class when I tell you all how much we appreciate you and everything you've done for us. I would also like to take a moment to thank my own parents. You have always been involved in my life, and I really appreciate everything that you have done for me. I can always count on you to be there for me, whether it be in school, in everyday life, or cheering me on at all my games. You taught me to push myself to my full potential, and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. To my fellow graduates, I can't wait to hear all the amazing stories when we meet back up in the future, and I will leave you with one final quote by Frederick Wilcox. Progress always involves risk. You can't steal second base and keep your foot on first. Thank you, and congratulations to us all, the class of 2020.
Good job, Gabby. At this time, a group of chorus and choral seniors will now perform our Tamarac alma mater, and I'm sure we will welcome the voices of others in the crowd.
Maggie.
Did someone say Maggie?
Mid the rolling hills of Brunswick, with a sky so blue, there stands our honored alma mater, stirring sight to view. For strength and knowledge came from thee, our loyal banners fly. We proudly raised a red and white, all praise to Tamarac High.
Now this is my opportunity to speak to the class, and I appreciate that opportunity. I want to thank all of our parents, all of our guests for coming today. Particularly, I need to thank several people. I want to thank Jack Roddy, our board president, Dana Roadcap, and Kevin Schufan, who are here today, and all of the board for the opportunity to have served you this year. I want to thank Dr. Maloney for having hired me, and it has been the capstone of my career. Thank you. I want to thank Mr. Jakes and Mrs. Bishop. You have done a phenomenal job in putting this all together. Talk about how many moving parts this has. Unbelievable. I want to thank the secretaries, all the teachers, and everyone volunteering. I want to thank the custodians for their work right now, but all year long. I've been told by a few people I've done a good job, but you know what? Frankly, it's been easy because there's been so many good people here. And you, class of 2020, have been an easy class to lead. You've been awesome, really. You've been a great class. Anybody that says anything different about Tamarac, I will certainly correct them. You're a great group of people. And I just want to add a few remarks. I was told early on in my career that the best speeches are relevant, brief, and then you should be relevant, be brief, and be seated. So I'll try to fit those parameters. I agree with Bobby. Perseverance is one hallmark that does define this class. You have persevered. But one thing that life has taught me is that you never get the lesson first. It's usually the test, and then the lesson follows. It's the opposite of school. How often I wish I'd learned from my mom and dad when they had told me to do certain things. But you know what? There is a saying, a great man once told me, you will either learn or you will feel. I've had a lot of feelings over the years because I didn't learn. At the same time is that the test that this class has endured, that Gabby pointed out over the years, but the test this year, I am proud of you for having endured. But I want to leave you with two thoughts that represents in my mind this class. Number one is perseverance, but the other is mercy and kindness. I want to congratulate all those who did get online and did their work. And I want to give a high five to those who may not have. You know what? There's both perseverance and hard work that leads to success, but there's also the compassion and mercy that others show that we all need. And I pray that you all continue that throughout your lives, realizing that no matter how high we achieve or what we attain to, we don't do it alone. We need each other. We need one another. And I think Tamarac has exemplified that this year. I'm so very proud of you. I'm proud of the faculty for what they have attained and pulled off this year. I'm proud of all of our staff. Parents, it wasn't easy for you either. I wish all the parents were here to hear this. Truly appreciate this. I wish I had some jewels to leave you that would, forever be embalmed in your mind, but the bottom line is this, is that be kind and continue on. Persevere. You'll do it. And I know that in the years to come, we will be proud. Thank you. At this time, as I clean off the mic, I would like to introduce Dr. Angela Maloney for her remarks.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome. I really am truly happy to be here. We went through a lot of iterations about what today's graduation would look like, and the fact that the class of 2020 is all under this tent together is absolutely heartwarming. I'm so excited to be with you today. Today marks the 61st commencement ceremony at Tamarac High School. It is, however, the first socially distanced ceremony, and I hope it's our last socially distanced ceremony. Today is a really special day, and I am beyond proud that we're here together. I feel honored and privileged to join you in this celebration as you mark the grand finale of your time as a student at Tamarac High School. As your superintendent, I am so privileged that I personally watched you graduate from 5th grade with Mrs. Liederman, cute little guys that walked outside and played. And then you came over and hung out for a little while as awkward, little gangly middle schoolers with Mr. Rockwell and Mr. Pogue. And then, as Michael Jake said, he nervously walked over high school. And during that time, I watched you blossom and find your way. Whether it was academics, athletics, Odyssey of the Mind, music, drama, volunteer service, VOTEC, and hundreds of other endeavors, You have shined and found your way. I personally feel so honored to be able to see these groups throughout the years. Not a lot of superintendents get to see the kids go from elementary school all the way up until this day. For those of you that have transferred into our school, it has been so incredibly heartwarming to see you welcomed into the Tamarac family to share your talents with all of us. Although these last few months have been different than what you thought they would be, I encourage you not to dwell on what you missed, and rather treasure the great memories that you have. That's the great thing about memories. They're yours and yours alone. I know that there are many wonderful memories that the class of 2020 has. Many of them are about the relationships you've made while you've been a student at Tamarac High School. And I know this because I did a survey. And in that survey, the vast majority put that you would miss the faculty, staff, and friends at Tamarac. There was one senior comment on that survey that stood out to me, but I think it represents how many of you feel. The quote was, "I will miss Tamarac as a whole. Everything I did there will be a memory, and I will remember it forever. From the fun activities in class to the interactions I had with students and my friends. I genuinely will miss Tamarac, and I never thought I'd say that." And I think that's how many of you feel. So I encourage you, when you look back at your years at Tamarac, don't think about the last couple months. Smile and remember all the wonderful relationship over your time as a student here at Tamarac. On behalf of the faculty, staff, and the rest of the Tamarac family, please allow me to thank you for all that you've added to our schools. I would also like to give a special thank you to the parents, friends, and caregivers that have supported you throughout your journey here today to graduation. Tamarac Class of 2020, today is your day, but someday you'll know just how all your parents, friends, and families feel as they're sitting here, whether under this tent, waiting outside in the sun, or sitting in their cars, waiting to watch you get your diploma. You'll know just how that feels. And lastly, although we are socially distanced today, I think we have never been closer and never been stronger. Remember, Tamarac will always be your home. We are excited to see what is next for you. Please don't be a stranger. Our door is always open. It's secure, but it's open. You are now a Tamarac alumni, and you will always be part of the Tamarac family. Congratulations.
At this time, we will begin awarding the diplomas. Row A, please rise and proceed to the left of the stage. Maxon, Ally. Will Ashley. Anthony Ogello.
Congratulations.
Jacob Barbera. Lucas Flowers. Jeremiah Bouchard. Dylan Maxfield Burchetti. Timothy Bridegroom. Skylar Brock. Gabriela Cellucci. Michael Jakes. Bobby Treshot. Alexis Bruno. Carrie Ann Bugby. Joshua Ballman. Matthew Burton. Jay Butler. Riley Campanella. Jenna Campbell. Mackenzie Campbell. Cheyenne Christian. Grace Coonan. Jenna Coughlin. Jacob Danaher. Thomas Dandro. Juliana DiCarlo. RJ Doyle. Alexis Duncan. Ashley Duncan. Kaylee Duncan. Blake Duncan. Alexis DeZembo. Miles Edney. Lindsay Elwell. Andrew Entrott. Andrew Fish. We'll start with Gabriela Grace Fisher. Drew Flannery. Jacob Fontaine. Kendra Rose Freer. Vance Gardner. Michael Gendron. Gianna Goldie. Emily Hayden. Skylar E. Hemming. Daniel Hunsinger. Lauren Hunt. Michelle Hutter. Josh Fish. Irish. Will Johnson. Margaret Kelly. Tyler Kaczynski. Nathaniel Krill. Zachary Krill. Alex Livingston. Lawrence Mackey III. Kylie Mason. Ashley Maston. Dalton Mackin. Jack Mays. Alex Medved. Marilyn Morell. Marion Mulligan. Fiona Yvonne Murray. Summer Ann Myers. Tristan Nemjo. Clifton O'Donnell III. Matthew Palladino Jr. Grace Palmer. Kevin Pangburn. Rocco Pasquarella. Sage Nicole Perkins. William Riley Pfeiffer. Sean Puscatera. Jonah Rescott. Holly Rice. Marissa Roberts. Ryan Roseberger. Emily Reiswick. Aiden Schmidt. Claire M. Stafford. Aaron Stillman. Gabriel Shaw. Ronan Sullivan. Jacob Swanson. Tommy Thompson. Nicola Chulasia. Jordan Urquhart. Tyler Van Branken. Taylor Wagner. Trevor Warren. Madison L. Wright. Nate Yeto. Spencer Yetto. Congratulations, graduates. At this time, Dr. Maloney will officially present the class of 2020.
Okay, will the Tamarac class of 2020 please stand? Now, it is my honor to formally...
Hold up.
Oops,
We're
sorry.
almost past.
Everybody got their tassel on the right side? Okay. All right, now's the big moment. Now it is my honor to formally grant you your diploma from Tamarac High School. Having satisfactorily completed the requirements prescribed by the Brunswick-Brittenkill Board of Education for graduation from high school, I am pleased to introduce the Tamarac High School class of 2020. You may now move your tassel.
525,600 minutes. 525,000 moments so dear. 525,600 minutes. How do you measure a year? In daylights, in sunsets, in midnights, in cups of coffee, in inches, in miles of laughter and strife. In 525,600 minutes.